Today I want to highlight 3 of the biggest pitfalls where ADHD teens often bite off more than they can chew. Taking AP classes, heading off to college, and managing money. I'm Annie Adjan. I'm a certified ADHD coach. I work one-on-one with teenagers, college students, and their parents to help them understand ADHD, manage it really well, and tap into its many gifts. If your teen has ADHD, at some point you will hear them say, "Don't worry, Mom, I've got it this time. I know what I'm doing. I don't need your help," only to step back and watch them get in over their heads time and time again. It's important not to let this happen because this painful cycle lowers their confidence and produces a tremendous amount of stress at home. The first of the 3 areas where ADHD brains often take on too much is in high school with AP, Advanced Placement classes. ADHD teens are smart, very smart. In fact, many ADHD brains are twice exceptional. This means that they are gifted and challenged at the same time, which creates a very confusing paradox. Think about it. A teen with ADHD may have a very high IQ. They might breeze through class concepts, no problem. They might even understand algebra even better than the algebra teacher. You already know your ADHD teenager is smart. And at the same time, their brains struggle mightily with executive function. They might not be able to get things done. They may also have a learning difference. There are many like dyslexia, dyscalculia, dysgraphia. They might also have a slow processing or processing disorder. They are challenged. So while they might qualify for AP level classes, will they be able to keep up with the doing, the volume of work, meet the deadlines, complete the daily, nightly reading? Some days they'll get it all done, but they won't be able to pull it all together with consistency, with autonomy, with self-reliance, self-initiation, not without a lot of accommodations in the classroom and a lot of scaffolding from you at home. Parents, here's the trap. Don't assume willpower will suddenly fill in those gaps. Parents usually make this following mistake. Teenager comes home from school and says, "Mom, Dad, I met with my counselor today and she let me sign up for AP classes next year." First, Mom and Dad, validate your kiddo and really take a moment to celebrate them. Support their can-do attitude and tell them that you are there to help them achieve all of their academic goals. And it's also your responsibility to keep them from getting in a situation where they are placed in any class where the amount of work or the pace of learning is outside their scope of doing. Dr. Russell Barkley says it best in his famous quote, "ADHD is not an impairment of knowing what to do. It's an impairment of doing what they know." The doing of life, the doing of school is very difficult for ADHD. AP classes are not powered by willpower. They're powered by skills, self-regulation, stamina, and also your teenager needs to show a track record of having handled this increased academic rigor before, like maybe an honors class last year, successfully completed. Don't be fooled into thinking that your son or daughter will just rise to the AP challenge out of sheer will. Without learning and practicing the many skills delayed in ADHD, you can't expect them to suddenly change their ways and figure things out on their own. Encourage your child's dreams, but don't let them drown in a workload beyond their current executive functioning capacity. The second common pitfall for parents and teens with ADHD comes when it's time to head off to college. This one is huge. The number of ADHD freshmen who drop out of college is staggering. 18-year-olds with ADHD can get into college. They're very bright. They can earn scholarships. They should pursue higher education if they want to. But they cannot do school and life at the same time by themselves, and they shouldn't be expected to. For years, you've been scaffolding, acting as their surrogate prefrontal cortex, running forgotten lunches up to school, reminding them to get the oil changed, booking their doctor's appointments for them. So if your teen says, "I got in all by myself, so that means I'm ready," the answer is admission isn't readiness. That's false optimism, magical thinking, which is really common in ADHD. Your job here is definitely first validate their success. Amazing job getting in. You've proven that you're academically competitive at the college level. All your hard work is really paying off. And then state the reality. Readiness is more than acceptance letters. You'll get there. I'll help you. Parents, you really have to continually orient the ADHD teens back to reality. Because here's the truth. College success requires a whole concert of executive functioning skills. Self-starting, time management, chunking down large projects and essays, creating daily routines and sticking to them, resisting procrastination, and oh yeah, there's just getting out of bed in time for school. These sound basic, but they're some of the hardest tasks for the ADHD brain. Many college students who come to me for coaching have never opened a textbook, have never read a syllabus, or even checked their school email. They've relied on the gifted side of their brain to float them through all these years, but eventually the executive functioning gaps, the challenged part of the brain, that catches up. I've heard parents say, she wants to go so badly she'll have to figure it out. Or he applied all by himself, so that must mean he's ready. No, these aren't signs of readiness. They're classic ADHD signs of a teen about to jump out of a plane in a moment of exhilaration, without a parachute, and without you to help them land. And when they crash, ADHD teens don't learn a lesson. They don't bounce back. They feel shame, and they often retreat. Most who drop out of college never return to ever finish their degree. If you blindly follow the crowd and send them off in the fall, all of that scaffolding that you've built over the years suddenly disappears. Meanwhile, their optimism convinces them that they're going to be able to pull it all together by the end of the semester. The result is no communication about their slipping grades until it's too late. And sadly, the first attempt at college is often a costly mistake for parents and a costly mistake for your teen's confidence and development. And the third pitfall is money management. Money, the first real job, a paycheck, direct deposit. It all looks like adulthood, and it tricks parents of teens with ADHD into thinking that their child has hit some sort of milestone where everything is just going to suddenly click. Well, they've entered in an elevated level of adulting where they're taking on more responsibility and they're going to make more responsible decisions with their money. But here's the reality. ADHD teens are impulsive spenders, time blind. Their planning skills are delayed. They see something shiny and on sale and they just have to have it. Budgeting is also very foreign to the ADHD brain. Just creating and following a monthly or weekly budget is not a skill they possess. And you're going to have to teach it to them. Demonstrate it for them. Practice it with them together. Review it often together for many months, much longer than you want to. Longer than you should have to in order for it to become a skill that they will use. Only after using a budget for many months, maybe years, will they even see the value in it. So parents, don't assume a paycheck equals financial independence. That milestone is not what it seems. There you have it. AP classes, going off to college, and money. 3 big pitfalls where ADHD teens often overestimate their readiness. But here comes the good news. There's an easy way to measure readiness before they leap too soon. It's called the 80% test tool. The idea is simple. Before your teen takes on something new, ask, can they already do 80% of the skills required for that next thing, the prerequisite skills, 80% of the time? Not perfectly, not 100%, just 80% consistency. And that margin of error, 20%, that's generous. And it's realistic for the ADHD brain. But 80% competency shows readiness. So let's apply the tool. AP classes. If your teen wants to sign up for an AP class, ask yourself, have they already shown 80% success in an honors class? Do they generally turn in at least 80% of their homework? Do they meet deadlines? Do they read the textbook? Do they complete assignments 80% of the time? If yes, then I think one AP class might be appropriate. And if not, they're not ready yet. If you decide to give them the green light, then just make sure they also have a safety net in place in case they start to drown, like switching back to the on-level course option before that deadline. As for college, the same 80% rule applies. Getting into college is not the question, readiness is. So parents, ask yourself, is my teen already handling life skills and school tasks at about 80% on their own? If not, it probably means that community college is a better place to start. Keep them closer to home. Add in more scaffolding. Teach them more life skills. You might even want to have a contract in place before sending them off solo. And for money management, first job, great. Paycheck, awesome. And the 80% test still applies. Can they stick to a budget 80% of the time? Can they resist those tempting impulsive buys and purchases 80% of the time? Do they follow through with savings goals 80% of the time? If not, it's okay. Just don't hand them all their financial independence yet. Co-manage, co-create a budget, review it together monthly, build financial literacy with your son or daughter and responsibility first by practicing it all together. And finally, parents, I have a bonus. Don't forget that you can use the 80% test in smaller ways too. For example, say your teenager is begging you for more video gaming time. Before saying yes, check. Can they turn off the gaming console after an hour with just one reminder without falling apart 80% of the time? If so, maybe they're ready for a little more. And if not, more practice, more scaffolding is needed. Bottom line, the 80% test tool gives you and your teen a concrete, fair standard to measure readiness. You are not demanding perfection. You're setting them up for success. That 20% margin gives grace that the ADHD brain needs. And the 80% bar protects both you and your teen from the trap of perfectionism, which is a big roadblock when managing ADHD. So try it this week. Pick one area, big or small, and ask, is my teenager showing 80% competency and consistency? If yes, give them more, move forward. And if not, scaffold a little bit more. I'm Annie Adjan, wishing you all A's in your every endeavor.